miss that like in a few years.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday you had a talk about that, right? And
Exactly.
you could you share a little bit about your experience with
Sure.
your tests and
Yeah.
just
Yesterday we talked about that as AI empowered developers, right?
yeah,
And this name is still didn't is we still don't have, right? We have some names like vibe
yeah,
coding, and Andre Karpat created the name, and this name is a very good marketing name because it's the things that all CEOs want. They want that creating software is something so commodity that you can just ask and it is done,
yeah,
right? We realize that it's not like that, right? At least not, at least for now. Uh, but we can get like really, we can get very more productive, much more productive if we use AI in a correct way for creating this production ready applications. Because
yeah,
if we're just vibe coding, every time I like to say that if you're vibe coding, if you're not looking at your code, you are just blinding coding. You know,
yeah. That is true.
and this will fire back eventually. So for and when we think about us software engineers, we know how software must look like. We know how hard it is to write professional code, right? And we know how all the software engineer best practices we need to follow to get to that, right?
Yeah,
So if we can't forget all these years of software engineering, but we can add AI tools and AI agents to create and test and uh, code reviews and do other stuff that we can do with software inside our software engineering life cycle.
yeah,
So that's what I'm doing. I'm working here. My company has all this best practices in place, all pipelines, CI, CD. We have CD. If I merge my code, it goes to production right away, right?
oh,
Not right
that is
away. It's after all the CD
yeah,
pipeline passes, of course, right? But that's the goodness of it. So DevOps is something that we still need, and DevOps is increasing his works because of AI as well. And then when we get to this point, if you and then you put AI in place, you need to be extra careful because if you just don't look at the code, this you merge the things and it goes to production directly, you cannot blame AI,
yeah.
right?
You are
You
the
need to.
responsible, right?
You are the responsible. You are the engineer who did that. You know, if you didn't look at your code, it's your problem. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, that is
So getting to a point where AI can generate good code for you is something that takes time. So that's something that I've been working with AI. So I have some data for my case. In my case, I could increase the number of lines of code written in my codes 5 times in average. I took the first 3 months of the year, and the last 3 months, it was like 5 times more code, 6 times more test code, 8 times more documentation code.
oh,
So it's using
it's a lot.
AI, and all this code that I'm talking about, it's running in production,
Yeah,
and it's being reviewed by other engineers. So
yeah,
I'm
that is
not talking.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
not talking
amazing.
about. I'm not talking about something that I'm doing in a side project. Nobody's looking at the code. No, I'm not doing that. It's professional.
Yeah, you can imagine all the engineers with that powers and using and doing with responsibility. It could
And
increase a lot our how we do the things.
exactly. So I like to say that is to get to this point is more a case of process than a case of a tool, actual tool, right? Because we are using course, but you could be using Copilot.
Yeah.
My friend Igor from yesterday, he's using June in IntelliJ, right? Uh, we now have more Amazon Kiro that is in pre-release now.
Yeah.
We have
Gemini.
Google Gemini Code Assist
Cloud
that is
AI.
in release as well, like Replit, all these other Lovable, etc. But when we think about Lovable, for example, I don't think how could Lovable help in this to write code that you write inside your company, for example. You know,
Hmm.
the, they have use cases, right? But all these other things like GitHub Copilot is one of the most known AI IDE because it's the very first one, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as good as Corsa today, but it will be. You know, Microsoft has put a lot of money. Google has put up a lot of money. Amazon has put a lot of money. It will be good. The problem will be the engineers that use it.
Yeah. That is the point. We will not be replaced by that, but we certainly have
If
to know how to use, right?
Yeah, we will not be replaced, but definitely we'll need less engineers to do the same amount of work.
Yeah.
Definitely, you know. So the same, but it happens in our career, in our profession. We've seen I've seen that happening a lot
Yeah.
when we start doing. I, Before I start, we had this change between uh, compiled language and visual languages. Remember one time, oh, Delphi or Visual Studio, Visual C++, or something like that. People say, oh, now we will not need programmers anymore because anybody can go and create your own screen, just drag and drop
Yeah, for sure.
buttons and stuff and the screen. People say, you will not need engineers anymore. We know
Not
that's not true.
happen.
We saw that happening. And then we start getting internet. Internet with lots of stuff, new stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then we get like all the tools that you could drag and drop as well, like Dreamweaver, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, again, the same. All these tools, they are make your life to develop much better, much more productive.
Yeah.
And then, of course, less developers are needed to do the same amount of job. But then what happened at that time was the amount of software needed in the world starting increasing. So the productivity of these tools increased the tools, the productivity of the developer, but the amount of software needed increased much more than that. And then we have this boom with amount of developer that was like in a very very high moment during COVID, just after
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Remember, we
I
are seeing
remember.
the same thing today. After COVID, we have like developers being paid $500,000 a year, $700,000 a year, and then 2 years later, oh, layoffs, layoffs. People say, oh, people, it's AI, it's AI. No, it's not AI. It's the normal flow of our careers, and
Yeah.
you are seeing the same thing happening with AI scientists, AI engineers. You know, so we are
Yeah.
seeing.
Happening.
Have you seen the Meta trying to get open AI scientists?
No, I
You-
didn't see.
No, you didn't. Oh man, they
They tried.
offered. They called the guys like in the mail and stuff, and said, "Oh, yeah, I have an offer for you. $1 million.